What's going on, everybody? JT here, coming at you with another episode of Pokemon Go, and quite often I'm asked in both my Twitch live streams and in my YouTube comments section, what are my rarest Pokemon? Like, which ones are the best ones that I personally have? And to be honest with you guys, I didn't know how to answer that question, because I have quite a decent amount of good stuff, you know? I've got a lot of costume Pokemon, I've got some really rare stuff here and there, so I decided to go through my entire collection, and I think I've come up with a decent list as to what my best Pokemon are. Now, to begin this video off, let's dive into the groups of Pokemon. We'll dive into some individuals, of course, later down on the list, the more rare stuff, but for now I think we should start with some big groups, starting with the Shiny and Costume Pokemon. If you type in Shiny and Costume, it'll bring up all your costume Pokemon, and yeah, I've got some pretty good ones. I have the complete set of the Visor line, you know, I've got the Flying Pikachu, absolutely love this thing, I'm so happy I found this one. This one is pretty rare because it only showed up for one whole week, and it wasn't super hard to find, but it definitely wasn't super common either, so I'm very, very happy we got this. We also got a lot of other things that are pretty cool. I mean, we got the party hats as well. I have almost every single party hat Pokemon. In fact, you know what, let me just type in Shiny and Party real quick, and it'll actually bring up every single one of them. The only one I'm missing right now, unfortunately, is the Charmander, and I will have every single Shiny Party hat in the game, which makes me very happy. This one's a big one for me, of course. I had to make it my best buddy. It was like one of the last eggs I hatched during that event, and I was coming near the end. I had hatched so many eggs, I should have counted how many I got, but yeah. I went nuts for this one, so I'm very happy. Of course, we had to make it our best buddy. But yeah, there was other ones that took a while too, like, of course, the Party Hat Raticate. This one isn't super, super rare, but this was like one of the last ones I could have gotten, and I got it during the Mencino raid day because it was like the Year of the Rat kind of deal, and like there was rat raids everywhere. So I'm very happy I got this one because I didn't get it when it was first released. But yeah, there's other things as well, like these Party Renos. You know, these things were only around for 3 hours, and there's only been released one time, which makes them pretty decently rare, as well as the Gengars as well. Also, a fun side note, I do have a hundo of these things as well. I got a hundo of the Nidorino, and I got a hundo of the Gengar as well. Which, again, I would consider pretty rare because, again, you only had 3 hours in order to do this, and with raids, it's like a 1 in 200 and something chance of you getting the hundo because there's only a set amount of IVs you can get from these raids. So the fact that within that 3 hour window I got 2 hundos of these Pokemon is actually really cool. But going back to the Shiny and Costume Pokemon, I would also say this one is pretty rare for me. I did a ton of these costume starter raids, and I only got one of them. I didn't get the complete set, so yeah, I'm very happy I got this one because this one was so good. I love the Charbone. I think it's so great. Hopefully this next Halloween event, which should be coming up soon, will have the costume starters in the wild. Hopefully they'll be in the wild this time. I doubt it. I'm pretty sure they're going to be stuck in raids again, but yeah, hopefully we can get the other two. And yeah, we just go through these real quick. Of course, I've got the Flower Crowns as well. I don't have the complete set of EVs with Flower Crowns, but I'm getting there. I'm getting very close. I've already done the Glaceon and Leafeon as Dex entries. Of course, I had to do it that way because, yeah, I mean, come on, Flower Crown Shiny Dex entries? That's really cool. Hopefully I'll be able to get a few more to complete the entire set, because I found out recently I actually got the naming trick reset on my game, which is really cool. So as you can see, I nicknamed it Flower, but if you do the naming trick Rainer real quick, it will actually allow me to guarantee that this thing will be a Vaporeon, and I can do the same for Flareon and Jolteon. For some reason I can't do it with Espeon and Umbreon, but that's fine, because all you gotta do with them is walk them for like 10 kilometers or something like that, and then evolve them either in the day or the night. So I don't have to worry about that. I can guarantee what I get from those, but I was a little worried because, I mean, you know, it's random unless you have the naming trick, but mine got reset for some reason, so that's super awesome. I'm so freaking happy about that because, yeah, it would have been a big pain if I just kept getting a ton of Jolteons or Flareons, you know what I mean? And, you know, let's dive into a couple more. Obviously, this one is super rare for me personally because I don't really get a lot of the shiny Pichus with the hats, and this one is like Legacy now because they introduced the Beanie Pichu, so maybe this one might never come back. I'm sure it will someday, but yeah, very happy with that one. And another huge one that I would consider very, very rare are these Black Hat Pikachus. And the Raichu, of course, if you decided to evolve it. But yes, these things are super rare because they've only shown up for 2 days ever. It was some kind of like collaboration between the Pokemon Company and this clothing brand, hence why it has like the little bolts on its hat there. But yeah, it's cool. I'm very happy I got these, and I managed to get a third one too, so I'd be able to actually do a trade for them. And I would guess probably one of the other rare ones I got was the Shiny Party Hat Pichu. This used to be one of the rarest, if not the rarest shiny in the game for a while, because it was only introduced for like maybe 2 days, I think, again. But they've introduced it again in a couple other events, so it's not as rare anymore. But I'm really happy I got it, because this actually completed my party hat set, so that was really cool. Next up on this list, I'm going to throw in all of my shiny Shadow Pokemon. Because at this current time of this recording, I have almost every single Shiny Shadow that's been introduced in the game. I have every one of them that you can get from a Team Go Rocket leader. I have all those. But unfortunately, when it comes to Jesse and James, I've only been lucky once with the Ekans. Hopefully I'll get lucky soon, because they are going away by September 30th. And I don't know when they're going to come back, and I don't know if they're going to have different Pokemon when they come back, so hopefully that works out. But in the end of the day, I have every other one. I've got the Meowth, which I think is one of the cooler ones. He just looks so evil, like he's enjoying it. Because I know the lore in this is that they're in pain or whatever. But like this one, he's like smiling and everything. He looks evil. I really like him. And then I got the Persian. Let's just go through all of them. The Grimer, super happy about this one because I did not have a shiny Kanto Grimer for the longest time. I actively searched for it, and I just couldn't get it. And I managed to get both, so now I've completed the Shiny Kanto set, so I don't even have to worry about those anymore. And then we got the Scyther, we got Pinsor, which I really like this one. I like the ones that look super evil, and this one just like, with the purple skin and the red eyes, like it just looks super evil. And then the Lapras, super awesome, love it, looks amazing. The Pineco, looks pretty good. The Fortress, I love the red eyes on it, it's pretty good. Let's go to the Scizor. Scizor is pretty solid, I like that one a lot. Sneasel, pretty nice. Stantler's pretty cool. Mawil's pretty cool. The Absol, the fun story about this one actually, when these were first introduced, the very first Sierra battle I did when they got flipped around and we got brand new shiny shadows, this was the very first one. So I didn't have to do any more, Team Go Rocket leader battles with Sierra for that entire 2-month period. It was actually kind of relieving because, then I was like, oh, cool, I don't have to even deal with Sierra anymore. Now it's just Arlo and it's just Cliff. But unfortunately, Arlo decided to be a big pain. I have the complete set. I have all 3. But man, the first Shiny Shadow Bagon took me 100+ battles to get. Just one of them. And then I got the other 2 relatively soon afterwards, but yeah, that was really cool. Then of course the Beldums, which was really nice, I love that line quite a bit. And then finally, we leave off with the Weavile, which again, he looks evil, it looks really cool. But that's all my Shiny Shadows. Hopefully we can get the Coughing set and 1 more Ekans to complete the set, because I think really soon they're going to be introducing more of them, so yeah. Next up on the rarity list is my 100% Relicanth right here. I freaking love this thing because, for one, it's a 100% Relicanth. This is a regional for the New Zealand, and there's some other like islands around their area that get this Pokemon. But not only that, as you can see below here, it's from Orlando. So I got this during the Liverpool Safari Zone, but that's still a 1 in 4,096 odd of happening. And I didn't know this was here. I literally caught it and then saw the IVs and freaked out because I was so happy. I'd like to get 100% regionals because regionals are kind of hard to get. Obviously, you have to go to their places. Luckily, this one came to me. But they don't have boosted IV odds. They just have sometimes boosted shiny rates during those events. So I got very, very, very lucky with this one. Don't know how useful this thing is in general. I doubt it is because I maxed it out all the way. But I don't care. I freaking love it. It's definitely a huge trophy in my collection. And now let's move on to 3 Pokemon that I consider very, very rare in my collection. They were all hatched, so let's just go down here. Obviously, all these hatched Pokemon are pretty rare, but it's going to be the regionals here. This is a shiny Tauros that I hatched while in Orlando, but it's from New South Wales, Sydney, Australia, which is really cool. You cannot get these in Australia, clearly, so the fact that I have a shiny regional not from where it's supposed to be from is really awesome, but that's not the only one that's like this. There's also Mrs. Lime here. Mrs. Lime is from Yokohama, Japan, which is also just super awesome. I love the fact that we got this one, but the best one is definitely this Kangaskhan, because Kangaskhan here was in Orlando, Florida, which again is not where it's supposed to be from. Sadly, I didn't get the Farfetch'd. I wish I got all 4 of them, but the fact that I got 3 during that, it was the Ultra Unlock for last year, was really, really cool. And if you look at the IVs on this thing, it's a 98%. And another really cool story about this, and I'm gonna go on record saying this, I don't think I was the first person in the world to hatch a shiny Kangaskhan, but I was definitely one of the first. If not the first, it's possible. Because I hatched this thing literally within, I would say, about 40 to 50 minutes into the event. And it was my second 7-kilometer egg of the event, period. which is just super rare for me personally. Like, I get lucky, you guys know that. I get pretty lucky when it comes to shinies. But the second egg, and technically that second egg was the first regional of the event for me. The thing prior to that was something else that wasn't even a regional. So yeah, that's awesome. We got ourselves a 98% shiny freaking Kangaskhan that will be able to Mega Evolve. So yeah, I mean, again, I doubt it was the first one in the world, but it could possibly be one of the at least top 10 to 20 in the world in terms of actually hatching ones, so yeah, that has a really special place in my heart. Next up, we've got my shiny unknowns here, which maybe not be too rare for some people, but some of them are. Like the G unknown, I got on the very first day of GoFest in the grass event, so I'm very happy I got that because I'm trying to get every single shiny unknown now. And I also got the O on the second day off the incense, which I feel like it would have been harder to get it on the second day because the second day incense was filled with stuff. So the fact that I got both the G and the O for GoFest makes me very happy. And then I got 2 L's during the Ultra Unlock for this year, which I'm kind of sad that I didn't get the U, the T, the R, and the A, but that's fine. 2 L's is pretty good. Again, it was like a 1 in... They say it was like a 1 in 100 rate almost. Like, it was very hard to get these things. So I got 2 L's, so it's cool. Hopefully in future events they will still have shiny unknowns, like the future Safari Zones that are going to be rescheduled and everything like that, because, again, I want to get them all. And it's going to be a bit of a grind to do that, but I'm excited to give it a shot. We're now entering the top 3 rarest Pokemon that I believe I have in my collection, and the third one on the list is this 100% Shadow Salamance. Now again, a 100% is a 1 in 4,096 chance to get, because that's how many different IV combinations are out there. But the reason why this is more rare is because it is a Shadow Pokemon, which means you have to find a Grunt or a Leader in order to do this. And again, it's really rare because you only get 1 from them, and they're a little bit harder to get than normal Pokemon that are spawning everywhere. But this one's even more rare than some Shadow Hundos because you can grind out the fighting type, person to get like a 100% Machop. It's gonna be a bit of a grind, but it's still possible. These are from the leaders, so if you didn't pay for Rocket Radars, the only way in order for you to get this Bagon, basically, was that you had to defeat 6 Team Go Rocket Grunts in order to get a Radar, in order to find an Arlo and fight them, which makes this even rarer to find. So the fact that I got a Hundo one of these while I was grinding for the shiny, Shadows, is super, super awesome. This is the top DPSer for Dragon types in the game as well, which is really cool. It might even rival Mega Rayquaza, though I don't know the stats of Mega Rayquaza quite yet, and sadly this thing will not be able to Mega Evolve in the future, or maybe it will. I mean, there's always a chance that there will be Shadow Megas far, far in the future, but for right now, sadly, it cannot become a Shadow Mega Salamance, but it doesn't matter to me. It's an amazing trophy to have that's actually pretty useful. I use it all the time because I gave it Outrage, so it is the best Dragon-type DPSer. It's very glassy, but it puts out a lot of damage. Number 2 on this list is another Shadow 100% Pokemon that's even more rare than the Salamance, and that is my 100% Shadow Suicune. This thing is extremely rare because you can only get 1 or 2 opportunities to get this Shadow Pokemon. If you saved your Super Rocket Radar from the previous month, say you really didn't want Entei, you could have gotten 2 Suicunes if you really wanted to do so. So, yeah, again, it's a 1 in 4,096 chance for you to get a Shadow 100%, or a 100% in general from Wild, or from a Team Go Rocket Leader, or any Grunt battle. You know what I'm trying to say. It's a very, very low odd of it happening, and I only had 1 Super Rocket Radar, and I hit the lottery and got the Hundo. Unfortunately, it is Suicune. It's not the most meta-relevant legendary, but it's still just super rare and hard to come by for something like this. And of course I had to give it, Bubble Beam, Ice Beam, Snarl. It can have its uses, and who knows, in the future they may end up giving it a move that makes it somewhat more, useful. And I'm actually right now trying to make it Best Buddies, but yeah. It's definitely a lot harder to get a Shadow 100% legendary, so if you have one, that's one of the rarest things you have right now, and I definitely recommend you power it up and treasure it, and definitely do not purify it. And now it's time for my number 1 rarest Pokemon in my collection. But before I show it to you, you guys know that I do not have a 100% shiny. I really want one. I've been going for a Shundo for the longest time. I've caught thousands of shiny Pokemon, and I've gotten close. I've gotten 98%. I've gotten a lot of really good ones, but not one of them is a 100%. But I have something even more rare than that, and that's this guy right here. It's a 0% shiny Metagross. which is extremely more rare. Because to get a Shundo, there's multiple ways for you to do this. You can get them from raids, you can get them from trades, lucky trades even. You can get them from research, you can get them in the wild. There's multiple ways for you to get yourself a Shundo. You can even purify a really good Shadow one to become a Shundo. There's multiple opportunities. But the only way for you to get a 0% shiny is from the wild. That's the only way you can do it, not even from trading. You have to be at least good friends or higher in order to trade a shiny Pokemon, and I believe that the lowest those IVs can be is 222. So yeah, that's why this one's even more rare. Now you might also be saying to yourself, well JT, that's a Community Day shiny. You had higher odds for that one. Well no. Beldum Community Day was on August 21st of 2018, and as you can see right here on him, he was caught on November 15th of 2018. Which means this one was a full odds shiny 0% Beldum, which is very, very hard to get. And I am just so happy. Of course, I had to max it out all the way. I'm probably gonna Mega Evolve this thing. This will be one of the rarest shiny Mega Evolves in the future. It's not as good as a Shundo. Shundos are far, far, far more useful than this thing will ever be, but I still love it. Like, I was actually really bummed when I first got this thing, because beforehand, we didn't have the bar system. I mean, the bar system is perfect. I love it. It's the best way for you to know what your IVs are, because it literally just tells you. But in the past, I just got the appraisal system, and they were like, doesn't look great, attack, HP, defense, you know, all that stuff. Looks bad. I was like, well, that looks bad. And I actually did look up the IVs. I wanted to know exactly what this was, and it gave me a range, so I didn't even know it was a 0%. So I decided to keep it, because I was like, whatever, it's a shiny. I never really transfer my shinies. But then, the bar system came out, I went through all of my shinies to see their exact IVs, and this thing was there, and quite frankly, I was so shocked and blown away. I was so happy I didn't get rid of it, because again, this is probably the rarest thing I have. Even if I get a Shundo, it would be under this thing in terms of its rarity. So, yeah, this is probably one of the greatest things I'll ever catch, and I'm really happy I was able to get one. And those are what I believe to be the rarest Pokemon I currently own in Pokemon Go, and they're all really cool, but there's one more that I want to throw in here, because it's not the rarest by any means, but it's definitely got a fun story to it, and it would be considered pretty rare, and that is my 100% Rayquaza that I got in Tokyo. It's called Hundo Tokyo, because that's where we got it, in Akihabara, the anime district, which was super cool, and the best part about it was on a staircase leading up to an ancient temple. It was just so, like, picturesque. I absolutely love the fact that I got it right there. You know, you can get them anywhere on some buildings or something, but this one happened on just like an ancient temple, and it was just so cool. It's definitely going to be a Mega Rayquaza in the future. I've given it best buddies. This thing's going to be a powerhouse in the future, and I cannot wait to Mega Evolve it. Now that we've gone through all of that, this is the end of the video. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video, and if you have, please smash that like button for me, show me some love, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon so you know when I upload, and also comment down below, what's your rarest Pokemon that you currently have? Whether it's shiny or not, tell me, what's the #1 thing that you have in your collection? And if you really love my content and you want to help the channel grow even more, there's a link to my Patreon in the description box below. But with that being said, this is the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one.